You know, folks, today is a day that if you're a fan of Sonic the Hedgehog like I am and anybody else is a day that you could probably be proud of. Because you see today, January 10th, 2013 I should say, Thursday, January 10th, 2013, is a day that we've been waiting for. You see, about a year or two ago, a little over a year ago, Eddie LeBron of Blue Core Studios said that he had made the announcement through teaser trailers, through blogs, and of course at MagFest, that he was working on a fan film based on Sonic the Hedgehog. And that he was going to basically, as time went on and we heard more about it, was going to add in elements here and there of the franchise that are based around the franchise. He was going to use elements out of the game. He was going to use elements out of the anime, out of the comics, out of the animes, out of the anime, if you will, and of course out of the cartoons like Adventures, like Underground, and more specifically Satayam. So basically, an influx of some elements, if you will, of all the genres based around Sonic. Well, I can say this. I can say this without a shadow of a doubt. The wait was worth it. It was. Indeed it was. The wait was definitely worth it, and let me tell you why. Because what I just saw on YouTube, right here on the tube, was for clocking in around just a little under 20 minutes, I have to say was spectacular. To me, it was mind-blowing. I'm not lying. I thought it was very well done. You know, and like I said, clocking in at a little under 20 minutes, it's definitely worth watching. And again, you could tell just by watching it. I mean, I watched it myself. I watched it just now. And just by watching it, you could see the subtle hints and the subtle elements of all the genres based around the Sonic franchise being thrown in there. You could see the subtle hints and elements of the games. You could see the subtle hints of Underground, Satayam, Adventures, and even Sonic X. You could see that. You could see the influx in the elements thrown in based around the comics. Just all of that. Just all those elements from all those different genres based around all those different environments and genres and, you know, basically media based around the Sonic franchise being thrown in there. You could see it. Like I say, you could see media elements from the game media, from the video game portion, or the video game media of Sonic. You could see it from the comics book media of Sonic. You could see it from the cartoons and the anime medias of Sonic. You see it. And I could definitely say it's put together. I could definitely say all the elements put together in this are very well done. It's very well done. You know, and again, it's just those subtle hints and those acknowledgments just by, you know, certain characters saying certain words and stuff. You know, and how they act and how they speak. You know, things like that. You know, it's just, to me, Eddie LeBron, in my opinion, and his crew did a great job in mixing those all together and giving what I felt was just a taste of what could really be achieved if the proper studio, not saying Blue Core Studios isn't the proper studio. It is. It's one of the best. But it just gives you an example, in my opinion, of what can be done if more money was put into it. If more of a high production value, just a huge production value, if you will, was put behind it. I mean, what they did here was good. It felt like, it could be something that would be shown as an 18-minute featurette before the actual feature. I'm not lying. That's what it felt like. It felt like it could be something you could watch for 18 minutes as a featurette before you got to the feature film that you went to see in the theaters. That's what it felt like. And it's just a sample, a taste of, like I said, what could be done if it was put on a higher scale, on a higher level. That to me, just by watching it, that to me shows that it just needs that opportunity to break through the glass ceiling and prove that it is indeed worthy of being big screened instead of internet streaming screen, if you know what I mean. I mean, nothing wrong with watching it on the internet, on YouTube, on the Blue Core Studios website or anything like that. But the point I'm trying to make is just by watching it, and I'm not trying to give anything away, you have to see it yourself. But just by watching it, you could see that if they could have been given a bigger production value, if they could have had a bigger production team behind them, more assets thrown their way, more technological stuff thrown their way, if you know what I mean, this could really be worthy of theatrical release. And it is, in my opinion. It is worthy of theatrical release as a featurette. But again, just by looking at it, you could say to yourself that all it needs to do is step up to that next level, and it would be something that, as a theatrical feature film, people would go and see. They would pay money to go and see that, fan film or not. And I think that's what Eddie mentioned in an interview he did. I think it was Viabrum Productions that did an interview with him recently at MagFest. And he said basically, one of the things I think he wants to do is do official stuff. Stuff that's like, okay, released by, let's say, 20th Century Fox or Paramount or whoever. It would say, Paramount Pictures presents a Blue Core Studios film, or something. Well, not a Blue Core Studios production, an Eddie LeBron film, something like that. He would want something like Paramount Pictures, or 20th Century Fox, or Warner Brothers, or New Line, or Universal, or even Disney, if you will, to get behind him and help him take something like, say, Sonic here, and take it to that next level, which is the big screen. And to me, with this fan film, like I say, clocking in just a little under 20 minutes, definitely is an example of what can be done if Eddie LeBron himself was given a bigger production value to work with, more money to work with, a bigger production value to work with, and getting the right people to back him, basically, as well as getting the right official major motion picture studio to back him as well. And I truly believe if he could get all that, then fan films like Sonic, fan films like Mega Man, could be given that big time treatment, could be given the treatment that would have people, when they hear it would go to theaters, would go and see it. That, to me, is exactly what, by watching this fan film, to me, can and should be done. Can be done. I mean, for a fan film, like I said, just clocking under 20 minutes, it's definitely worth watching. It mixes well. It mixes very well all the elements of the video games, of the comic books, of SatAM, Adventures, Underground, Sonic X. It mixes it all in to something that can be enjoyed by everybody. Something that doesn't need to be criticized. Hold on for a second. That was a street sweeper going by. That's why I stopped for a second. But again, to me, this is something that when you watch this all the way through, it gives you that feeling towards the end that there's going to be more. Has to be more. And maybe that more is what Eddie wants to make into an official film. He wants to make into something that people would either go to the stores, buy on DVD and Blu-ray, maybe download digitally through Ultraviolet, or even if he's lucky enough, and just pray he gets the opportunity, lucky enough to have it on the big screen. To me, that's exactly, when you watch this whole thing, it gives you that feeling that there's going to be more, and maybe that more is going to be a full-length film, an official full-length film, either directly to DVD, video, on demand, and Ultraviolet, or who knows, maybe he'll get that theatrical opportunity he wants. The point is, this gives you that satisfying feeling of what we as fans have been clamoring for years. It just gives you that satisfying feeling. And just to see as well the appearances of the cameo appearances of James Wolfe, the Angry Video Game Nerd, Doug Walker, Nostalgia Craig, Valento Floss, and who knows who else, Stuttering Craig. Just to know that they helped contribute with their cameo appearances. And the way they acted, they acted spot on. They did, just the cameo appearances, they did a tremendous job in my opinion. They did. Doug's, even though he didn't speak a word, he did great. James, in his role, did great. Valento Floss, Stuttering Craig, they had opportunities. They did great. Again, I don't want to give much away, but all I have to say is not just because of them, but because of the satisfying feeling it gives you. Knowing that when you watch it through, that it gives you the idea that there could be more coming, and maybe that more, like I said, could be an official feature film in the near future. It gives you that feeling. And for 18 minutes, for 18 and a half minutes, like I say, clocking under 20, it's very well done. It's worth watching. To me, it's worthy of being a featurette shown before a feature in the theaters. That's the way I look at it. And it mixes all the elements of the franchise. Comics, video games, the cartoons, the anime, it mixes them well. And all I have to say is you have to watch this. To me, I give it a 10 out of 10. Thumbs up. Definitely watch this here on YouTube. That's all I'm going to say about it. And take care. God bless. Comment down below if you like. But you have to see this, folks. You have to.